All right. Awesome. So Bill Brock, CEO, co-founder of Peridio. Prior to this, built and scaled a IoT hardware software services firm from around 2 million to 25 million over 8 years. Spent a lot of time in the hardware software space. And before that, I was about half a decade or better in high performance computing and working with the University of Tennessee, Oak Ridge National Labs. And it's a really awesome opportunity right now to see these worlds of compute and devices collide. So as Jensen announced earlier this year, everything is changing, and physical AI is the new super cycle that's underway. And when I first heard this, I thought it was honestly quite a lot of hype. And at what point are we going to see humanoid robots or drones running up and down the streets? But in practice, the transformation is already underway, and there's a massive retooling happening right now. And so anywhere that you have a camera, you have AI in the field. But the difference between edge AI and physical AI is that we're now introducing control in these systems. And so you're not just perceiving, but these machines are now acting on said perception. So we're moving from camera-based technologies into robotics and industrial automation. It's very, very exciting. This is called out to be one of the largest platform overhauls in history, and there's truly a multi-trillion-dollar market ahead, underpinned by the embedded systems market itself. So embedded systems today, $112 billion current market cap, on track to hit $169 billion by the end of 2030. And then 70% of these are dominated by advanced embedded systems. And these are all running Linux. So all these use cases above, Linux OS under the hood. We're not doing Windows in the field any longer, and Linux is essentially king. But there's a big problem here. And hardware teams going from the lab to production, they truly face a lose-lose proposition. So they can spend a lot of time building it right, which is what the engineers always want to do. And that'll put a 1 to 2 year delay on getting to production. What they get out of that, the benefits, is you get custom infrastructure for every chip you're supporting, you get stable, secure, production-grade systems, but your team is spending time developing Linux expertise, and you're going to miss the window. Customers are going to ship fast, or competitors will ship fast, and they're going to own the market. The other option is to take the default OS, what the vendors are prescribing, and use their demos as the software foundation. And we're seeing a lot of this, especially in robotics right now. However, the remote updates are brittle, unreliable. There's no good observability solution in place. And once you get to market, the kicker is that you have to support your products for 7 to 10 years. And so people are rushing to market they're unable to jump from Jetpack 4 to 5 to 6. And it's a huge, huge problem. The silicon vendors themselves, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and others are admitting that they have a problem. Talking to Suhas just a few months back, almost 45% of Jetson customers are deviating from Ubuntu as the target OS. This means they're actually getting hands-on, building their own Yocto, and trust me, this is incredibly hard, very time-consuming. The NVIDIA stack itself is very, very complex. On the flip side, Qualcomm, one of NVIDIA's main competitors, they go Yocto Linux first. However, their Linux environment is extremely volatile, medium to low quality, and it requires any customer who's wanting to have an embedded system on Qualcomm to hire deeply in that stack. And so if you're doing Qualcomm SoC, you've got to have 2 or 3 Linux folks, and they have nothing to do with your AI stack. We're having similar conversations across the board, NXP, ST, Renesas. And what we're seeing in practice, and especially with robotics, is that the leaders in automotive are winning in the robotics space because those are the chips that are reliable at volume. So what do we do? At Peridio, we allow our customers to ship products and not operating systems. 3 tiers of this approach. We have our Peridio Core SaaS product, which handles OTA, fleet, and observability. And we have Avocado OS, which is our spearhead for production-ready Linux. We again support the target vendors that are leaders in the automotive space and provide a very thin Linux runtime that already bring in all the necessary drivers, libraries, peripherals, so that customers can just ship their apps on top of that. Also very unique about what we're doing is that we're not necessarily focused on the EVKs or like the early stage PCB and bring up. We're taking the EVKs, or the EVK of course, but we're pairing that with production ready hardware solutions with folks like Advantech, ASUS, CompuLab, and others. So the customers can focus on perception, motion, and management, and we can handle all of that tough integration for them. This gets customers to production ready in weeks. We have validated vendor stacks, pre-built binaries, reference templates for the different solutions. And we also have a CI/CD pipelines for all the targets that we support. We validate that our software updates are secure, stable, and ready against real hardware in the loop. Lastly, when they go to the field, they benefit from unified infrastructure from pilot through production. And so your developers can still move fast upstream, and then you have that security and control for when the software needs to go out to the field and need the ongoing management. Everything that we do is offered with LTS, and we in fact bundle the Peridio core offering through our LTS model, and we support our customers for 7 to 10 years, depending on the posture. We're not doing this in a vacuum. We've worked heavily across security, computer vision, access control, real customer deployments, real Jetsons in the wild, IC real-time, Helicon, Fortify, computer vision applications, edge AI through and through. And we're also very, very focused heavily on industrial IoT and critical infrastructure. And so these are not necessarily the household brand names, but these are very large deployments doing very serious jobs in telecommunications, battery management, energy management, manufacturing. Last, we also have some more high volume fleets in the consumer electronics sector. These are not necessarily Jetson based. Super high volume consumer electronics is typically a more cost sensitive. So they're on MediaTek or something of that nature, but Tele, Thales brands developing these solutions, software updates, secure mode access for the high volume use cases. And we're able to take all of those learnings and apply them into the AI space. Very interesting to what we're doing, and I alluded to this earlier with the production-ready solutions, is our go-to-market is focused on the lighthouse integrator customer model. And so we focus on the correct SoC first, because all that work is downstream and repeatable. So we launched Avocado OS end of June this year, and we focused first on Jetson, and we focused second on Advantech being the integrator. Second on the list is Qualcomm Dragonwing. We're in advanced conversations with Quectel, and then there's other products within the Advantech portfolio we're going to support. And we have a very deep integrator pipeline of other folks, lots of Jetsons on this list, and a lot of people are struggling with how to reliably not just manage Ubuntu at scale, but even how to manufacture it and pre-configure it and have a manufacturable, scalable OS. We do have a lot of customers that are on the Peridio core product, which is where we cut our teeth over the last few years. But we're seeing with Avocado OS that we're able to get attention and get prioritization from these integrators to build a durable engine. So our revenue model is on per device per year. And of course, as you have more devices, the price goes down over time. Here we have a couple of scenarios. For 100 devices, it's $40K in year one, 1,000 devices, $105K in year one, and et cetera. And then the revenue model beyond that is 25% of that initial fee, LTS renewal ongoing, and that includes access to the Peridio core. This RoboFlow customer example is very interesting. Advantech brought them to us, and we closed them within 7 days of introduction, which was pretty wild for this space. And in 2026, they're expected to be around 200 devices and then grow to 6,200 devices by 2030. And this is like showing really what we're seeing in the NVIDIA progression of folks going out of R&D and into production. Scale is actually happening on Jetson. For a long time, it was more just in the lab and on Ubuntu. This contract on the conservative plan is around 600, 700K LTV over 5 years. And I think there's a high probability that this one customer sees 7 figures over 5 years. So for us, distribution is the most important thing, and that's what we're focused on right now. So repeating, in Q3, we set the foundation. Advantech, ICAM, it's a totally closed solution running on Jetson. Got a customer within 4 weeks of setting that relationship with Advantech. The integrators need this. They don't want to do the Octo. They want their customers to win, and they highly value our partnership. Q4, we're bringing on 4 new integrators, 1 product for each. That's going to create 4 separate revenue streams. And really, each partnership has the potential to provide at least 20 qualified customer opportunities. 2026, we're growing and compounding year over year, 10 plus integrators, 2 products each, rinse and repeat. And it's really important, like as we think about scale, we're not just building a sales team, we're building an ecosystem that sells for us. 4-year trajectory, on track to hit 1 million ARR this year, 3 next year, 15, 50. Very exciting times. And we're seeing as these AI products become production ready, there's really not many people else in this space that are focused on this. We have deep expertise in silicon, OS, and AI. Again, myself, a lot of experience in IoT solutions, edge, and compute. And then my co-founders, Justin Snook, Daniel Spalford, very, very strong in the software and embedded space, especially in Yocto-based Linux systems. Brought on Amir Sherman recently to help flesh out the partner ecosystem, and he spent for this 20 plus years with Arrow Electronics, helping boot up the SOM ecosystem that powers a lot of automotive today. And slightly over 10 minutes, but really excited to met this group, and yeah, open to questions.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Bill. Let's do one quick question, and then again, I'll collect some of the questions based on the materials that we distribute. Any questions for Bill? Yeah, Brendan, go ahead.
Come on, I have questions. Do you intend to support IGX OS as well? Or IGX Store, the platform?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We're waiting on the we're waiting on that out of NVIDIA right now. Right now, we're Nano, NX, and AGX, and definitely headed towards Store.
Got it. And just a follow up, why are you saying that? Or you say you're seeing folks transition or using Yocto? I'm guessing that's opposed to Jetpack. Why are you saying, at least from your initial customer RoboFlow, why they switched from Yocto, if it was Yocto, to Avocado?
So Avocado is the Yocto-based build system. We make Yocto easy so that you don't have to learn the full stack. RoboFlow was previously on Ubuntu and Jetpack, and they were around 100 field deployments and had no path to upgrade. They were more or less stuck on those field deployments. They're a software team. They want to focus on AI. They're not trying to hire 3 or 4 Yocto experts to get this done. And so that's where we came in.
Awesome. Bill, I want to ask you, is there anything specific that you want from this group? And then if you're raising, if you could tell us a little bit more details around that.
Absolutely. So any introductions else into the NVIDIA ecosystem, we clearly have strong partners in there, but it's a very large organization. Can be difficult to navigate at times, but anybody in the physical AI space, we're excited to talk to. And yes, we are raising right now. We have opened a $5 million raise, looking to complete that in the next few months. And so if anybody's interested in participating, please reach out.
Excellent. Amazing. Bill, thanks again. This is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.